Jeff Tomlin, head coach, Grand Island Senior High, 21-year tenure, 38 years overall coaching. I had great coaches growing up in my hometown of Alliance. Just had some tremendous influences by my coaches. I ended up eventually going to college and playing football and had a career-ending injury and figured out I really missed it. And so I was lucky enough to get asked to be an undergraduate assistant at Chadron State College in 1986 and 1987, and I fell in love with coaching at that point and decided to make it my life's work. Believe it or not, I applied for this job in, I think, 99 or 2000. It was open and I had a chance and I didn't take it. And so it came open again, and basically right after the new year in 03, winter of 03. So I threw my name in again, not expecting to get a call because I'd turned it down the first time. And I got a call and got an interview, and I was fortunate enough to be I don't know if I was their first choice, but I was fortunate enough to be the final choice. Our first playoff win was in 04, and that kind of started to catapult us a little bit into a program that would be a contender each and every year. I've talked to Brandon about this before, that class that he was a part of, that 06 class, that senior class kind of propelled us into being the program that we thought we could be, and we kind of jumped off of their lead and sustained that excellence that they started in 04, 05, for 20 years.
Honor, courage, commitment, and loyalty. The philosophy for the House of Tomlin is the foundation. 4 words, 4 walls. Individually, each is strong, but together, they create an impenetrable code of excellence. 21 years of triumphs, including playoff wins and conference championships. His legacy goes beyond the field by leaving a lasting impact.
The plan that he had in place, and that we, everything he knew would work, it was just going to take some time. Think back to that 2003 class, though. We had some great leaders, some good young guys on there. It's just unfortunate it was the first year, and it was kind of that struggle. But if you talk about, if he's going to say it's the 06 class, really fortunate when we run into, the following year, we're starting to get some kids that buy in. I think the weight room probably, maybe had as big as impact on our program as anything with those teams from 04, through 06, 07. Just what we did in the weight room as far as Coach Swanson and Coach Tomlin always, you can't compete if you're not strong enough. And our kids, that's where they kind of got the belief. But those are also teams that saw something special happen and dedicated themselves to a philosophy change.
Our philosophy is champions for life, so we're about developing the person and the young man more than we are developing the football player. We use football as our avenue or our vehicle to do that. I think that's been a recipe that's worked pretty good for us. I always want them to have that foundation of our core value system: honor, courage, commitment, and loyalty. I always want them living by the code. And our codes, max out the things that take no talent, the things you can control: attitude, effort, discipline, being a great teammate, mastering your fundamentals, and being tough. We call it GI toughness. So living the code and having a foundation of core values, that's what we want that finished product looking like. And then just teaching them the intangibles of work ethic, accountability, compassion, commitment to excellence, all those things that have been staples in our program, and that it's not about me. That when I'm a part of a team, I have responsibilities to a lot of different teammates and coaches. John Swanson, longtime strength coach and icon at Grand Island Senior High, And I kind of established those together as not only the football core values, but the Islander power core values. And that's kind of been the foundation that we built everything upon.
We talked a lot about honor, courage, commitment, and loyalty, and then that was our foundation that Coach T and Coach Swanson built together. Code of excellence, just attitude, effort, discipline, team unity, fundamentals, and GI tough. And the thing about the Code of excellence was all of those things were controllable.
He installed those on us from day one, and they've just stuck with us ever since. And it's gonna stick with us for the rest of life. I mean, every time we show up, it was always morals and values first, and then we came in and did the hard work. He always wanted to make sure that we have some sort of morality to be good people, not just good players.
And it's just about being your all and doing your best, no matter what, no matter who watches, no matter who sees, and knowing that people will only see the outcome and not the process that it takes to get there.
I think a big one that defines a team is courage and loyalty. Courage, you gotta have courage to do the rest, but you gotta have the courage to take on those big old brutes of teams, the huge ones. Loyalty, you gotta fall back on your brothers. I mean, even when you're down, you can't be counted out. Whenever you'd mess up, you'd be late, you'd do this, you'd do that, you'd always have a punishment, but it wasn't to punish you, it was to teach you a lesson. And I mean, I had my fair share of pits, tire flips, burpees, sprints. It's just, Coach T really taught you how to be a good person, and whenever you did mess up, you didn't want to let him down. It wasn't the punishment that scared you, it was the embarrassment of letting your team down and your coach down. No matter the odds, you have to keep going. If you're tired, doesn't matter, it's all in the mind. I mean, you can't turn around, can't look down. You just got to keep going, keep working hard. Otherwise, bad stuff's gonna happen.
We're loyal to each other because of the brotherhood that we've developed throughout our high school career. And we're committed to excellence because that's what our coaches and our teammates demand and expect out of us. And we have courage to do the tough things and to fight through adversity. And we have honor with everything we do. So that's truly like what we live by.
Day in and day out, he preached it, and being a leader, we tried preaching it down to the younger kids, and we live by that every day.
Playing for Coach Tomlin was really helpful in life and not just about football, because he made it less about on the field and more about how it's going to impact you in your life, and just gave you lessons and challenges after every practice that you could really think about to help you make sacrifices, not for yourself, but for your teammates, and put in the work, put in the time, and then you're going to get the best result.
I'm planning to go to the Air Force Academy, and I don't know if I would be doing that if I didn't play Islander football. Just like the core values and stuff, and the attitude that they have on life and football is just really important to everyone on the team.
Putting your teammates before yourself and just doing the best you could possibly do for them. I mean, we do a lot of hard stuff in this program, but in the end, it's just so that we can benefit each other.
We're Islander tough. Nothing beats us down. We always stand back up and get back in the fight.
One thing that I have fallen in love with as here at senior high is our code of excellence, our excellence of pillars, and we installed that we need to be a player-led team.
A bigger statement of who we produce or who we help when they leave here. The amount of kids that do awesome things, that's part of our program is just building champions for life. And if you look back at the last 20-some years, we've produced some great kids. We have the opportunity to work with some great kids. Unbelievable, the amount of kids that come back and watch games. So I think that's what makes our program successful. The wins definitely help, and the wins are fun, but it goes back to the relationship and working with kids.
Football is not just Friday night lights. It's a year-round process. Early morning practices into late night homework. What it takes to be an Islander is not for the weak. Academia, along with physical conditioning, is the unseen commitment.
The implementation of our offense doesn't start like in August. Our kids will start in January, and that's the basic fundamental stuff. So by the time we really hit the beginning of the year, the season, our kids have already really have the offense down. Then it's more about, okay, we need to perfect it this week against maybe say an odd front or an even front. We want to be physical, we want to play fast. So that's always in every game plan. And then, you know, if we can throw the ball a little bit to take some of the pressure off, that always helps. Our kids are fundamentally sound. You know, I think we do a great job coaching our kids by position, so their technique allows them to be successful. I've got to be committed to my job just like I have to be committed as an offensive lineman getting the first step down. The quarterback and running back steps are the same. So just hammering that home, a lot of individual time. We're fortunate to have great coaches. Our kids were never going to get outworked. You know, we were going to outwork everybody, and that was going to make up for some of the deficits we may have as far as size and speed. It's just the repetitions of what we're trying to get done. The kids believe in it, and they see the results.
Every year is different, and every year you have to take the structure that you build and kind of take it down to the studs and start over again, because it all starts with trust. You have to have a really high standard. You have to hold everybody accountable to that standard. You know, how is that possible? It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week fist fight. To maintain a culture is not easy. It's super hard work, and if you let up for 1 second, you lose your standard. Teamwork is a huge one, and I understood that far before I started coaching, but I learned to appreciate it more because your staff is a subgroup within the team, and you have to have team cohesion within your staff and chemistry with your staff members, and we are extremely tight staff. And so I learned a lot about teamwork, a lot about complementing each other's strengths and weaknesses. I have a lot of weaknesses that I needed covered up, so I had to surround myself with folks that had those strengths. And God blessed me with a lot of great, capable people that I could coach alongside, and then some great kids to coach. So I've been very blessed.
I kind of took over the middle backers about 2 years ago, and one thing that I kind of brought to the table is I wanted to bring a symbol, what represented us as a small group within the whole team. And we were really big in the military. And one of the things that I just idolize are Navy SEALs. They're the elite of the elite. And Coach Tomlin recommended a book, and I read it. And one of the things that it talked about is a breacher. And what a breacher is, they're the first one through the door. So you have a squad, you have your group of Navy SEALs, and when they want to bust through a door, they'll do it by all means, by it's a sledgehammer, by it's a concrete saw, it might be explosives. They're gonna do anything and everything to be the first one there. And I kind of take that to where I need my breachers to be the first one too, through the fight line. And I want them to see an open window, and we're gonna go through as fast and as physical and no hesitation. I kind of brought the breacher, and we actually carry a sledgehammer with us, not to the actual game, not to the practice, it stays in the locker room. But I remember I still handed this to Jace Chrisman 2 years ago, and it was a blank slate. It literally was just a normal piece of a sledgehammer, and had nothing on it, no stickers, no tape, nothing on it. And every single week, then Jace gave it to somebody else, and then from there it evolved. And this year, for example, Matt Hernandez, Matty, he's a great kid, works freaking hard as hell. He made a stand out of it. And Dax Kirkland actually stole a ball from Kearney and cut it up, and he stapled part of the ball onto the stand itself, and somebody etched WOK in it. Film breakdown and review is really what makes us click, and really what separates us from other schools, because we do so much of it outside of the practice, outside of school, and it's kind of, again, it makes us coaches a little bit more in common than anybody else in the district.
They're here to play football. So how can I help assist the football coaches to do the best that they can and give them the best product, athletic performance-wise, to put on the field? Same thing for our trainers. If I do my job correctly, our trainers don't have to do as much in terms of rehabilitation. What kind of data can I give football coaches to make educated decisions on, guys to put on the field, whether it's looking at their top velocity in terms of our sprints, like for kickoff. I've done that before, where I hey, Coach T, these are the 10 fastest dudes that we got. If you put them on kickoff, right, they're going to get down the field the quickest in terms of everybody. So just little things like that.
I think leadership as a senior, like we think back to winter when we were just really getting it figured out. It's kind of tough at the beginning because everyone's kind of standing around, everyone sees something happen, but no one really wants to step up. And seeing how we progress as a group and saw guys grow vocally, saw guys grow as leaders by example, it was a really good leadership group, I feel like.
Being a leader isn't always about just being the guy in front. It's about maybe being the guy in back, helping push others and improve others as much as you can while still doing your very best every day.
I approach the responsibilities of being a leader, just setting the example, not having to say, but just showing them. You know, actions speak louder than words, so I felt like trying to be a leader, you just gotta show the example. You have to set the example, and everyone will follow.
Leadership-wise, you need to lead by example. If you're telling somebody to do something, you gotta make sure you're doing it too.
The bonds were great, and the Brothers for Life that we made are really nice, and knowing that we can always rely on each other whenever is a cool thing.
Me and Coach Harv and the quarterbacks have had like Sunday film. We basically do that all year round. And I remember sophomore year, I'd just gone, I hadn't played at all freshman year. And we were throwing after one of those film days. And I remember him watching me throw and say, hey, he's got a shot. He's getting better this year. And that gave me a lot of confidence and kind of made me realize, oh, I can do this.
Coach T really developed our character, and he makes us units. I mean, we lift hard, we lift heavy, we lift fast. I mean, he's preparing us to be strong.
If you're not putting in the work, then you're not going to be very competitive or very good on the field. So I feel like in any situation in life, the more you work on it, the better prepared you'll be.
It's really what Coach T teaches us every day is the 7 Ps, prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. You show up, you do your stuff for football, and you do your stuff for school.
He wanted us to be student athletes first, which is great. And so you have to make sure that you balance school and homework and everything, but still giving your best on the field and make sure that you never give up.
I mean, I just focus on football mainly. I mean, kind of school is a second, I guess, but for the road ahead, I've learned that I just need to jump in head first, full discipline. And I just need to go full speed at it, and if I fail, it's not a bad thing, just learn from it, and if I do succeed, that's good too.
I'd say, we've grown really close as a senior class and, as a team as a whole, that has allowed us to kind of, play above like our athletic ability and, just compete with teams that may be more athletic than us, but because of our bonds and our friendships, we've done better than what some might think we would do.
North Platte game was nerve-wracking just because we had so much inexperience at really key positions. And of course, we had lost Ariel for the season. Going into that, we're depending on him as a key guy in our secondary. And they had a game under their belt and an extra week of practice because they played a week 0 game. Plus, they're an excellent flexbone team. So I was super nervous going in. But our kids prepared extremely hard, and in the end, attention to detail won out as we were able to block an extra point, and that ended up being the difference in the game. And our kids paying attention and our coaches paying attention to small details ended up being the deciding factor.
Anticipation is high throughout Islander Nation about the new football season. We're at Jack Martin Field inside Grand Island's Memorial Stadium, where the Islanders take on the Bulldogs of North Platte. Greg, both of these teams were playoff qualifiers last year. Both of these teams remember well that North Platte had the lead early last year, but lost by 1 in last year's opener.
Just all of us being together for our first game really since freshman year, and being able to come back from a deficit and win the game was a really cool experience.
That was the first varsity game, for a lot of us. And for a while, at halftime we were down. Coach T just preaches R factor. We showed that in the second half, and we came back and we won it.
Will be fielded on 2 hops. That's Richardson. Got some running room, headed towards the right side, got a good block, cuts back against the grain. He's still going, 20, 10, touchdown Islanders!
I was coming off of an appendix surgery, and I had only gotten a couple days of practice in before that game. So I think I was really nervous and everything, but I kind of settled in, and towards the end of the game, I slowly just kept improving and everything. And then the last play of that game, batting down that ball, was pretty fun to finish the game off.
Keeper, Jonathan, wants the corner, flag down. Ball came loose, ball's on the ground. Islanders recover at the 11-yard line.
It was a pretty tight game, and I had a big field goal block in the game, and it was a lot of fun, and we won the game because by like 1 point, and that helped us get in the playoffs this year.
Toss play, the Islanders had that covered. Look at that. Off run support, Caleb Richardson blew into the backfield. Jonathan will keep, tries to cut back against the grain. There's no place to go. That's great coaching. That's good recognition and understanding and being able to make the play when the play was vital.
I didn't think I'd be a very good running QB. I'm not the fastest guy, I'm not the most physical, but I ran that the option in where I faked it to Nelson, got in there. That was pretty, it kind of started off the season, made me realize that I can run the ball.
Man, Jonathan trying to run misdirection, caught, stopped. Great job of just staying home on the edge that time. Broxton Barrientos stayed with it. He was the one man that could turn it back towards the middle, and he did his job.
That touchdown was pretty hype, I'd say, because, I mean, running over 3 guys, whatever, but I don't know. It's hard to explain just because in that whole moment to me now it's kind of just a blur. I remember the crowd cheering and whatnot, but everything else is just a blur. I barely remember. I just remember catching the ball and then getting up and celebrating with the team, and it was quite the moment.
That's your ball game.
That's your ball game.
Oh my goodness. The Islanders rallied from a 27-14 deficit to come back to win. Final score, Grand Island 28, North Platte 27.
One of my favorite games every year is the Hall of Fame game, and this year it was Lincoln High. And since we've established our Hall of Fame, it's a great motivation for our kids to show their work ethic, show their mettle in front of some of the greats that have ever put on the uniform here. And I think it adds some really good pressure to our kids. So regardless of who we're playing, it's a really big deal. And our kids don't want to disappoint those legends that are being inducted. And so I remember that was kind of the start of a role we got on where we were playing at a pretty high level. And the fact that we were able to get a pretty substantial lead enabled us to get a lot of kids in, and we didn't have a big drop off. Our kids executed at a pretty high level, even our young kids.
Welcome back to Jack Martin Field Memorial Stadium, where the Islanders are getting ready to take on the Lynx of Lincoln High. We will see the Islanders offense come out, and this is where we're going to continue to see that growth. Richardson, blockers out in front, sees the seam and just takes it right up the gut.
What a cut. What a cut. Your offensive line is doing the job tonight.
First down and 10 for the Islanders at the 37. Give it to Wheeler. Follows blockers, breaks to the outside. He's got some room, and here come the Jets.
Oh, my goodness.
He left them behind by 10 yards. 63-yard touchdown run for Nelson Wheeler, and the Islanders score again. Impressive effort at home here tonight against Lincoln High. Final score, Grand Island 62, Lincoln High nothing. This is Brian Gallagher.
I remember every Kearney game just because the fans, more than anything, put so much emphasis on the rivalry. But it definitely is a rivalry, and I think over the years we've made each other better because we've competed against each other so hard. But when we lost Caleb Richardson the Wednesday prior, that was a big deal. And then, of course, losing Justice, early on in the game to the separated shoulder made the game really challenging. But in retrospect, our kids responded so well, even in the face of that adversity, and having that drive at the end of the game in a 2-minute situation and having a chance to win, I thought was remarkable. And as always, our kids competed their hearts out.
After losing Richie the day before the game and having to flip the script, Coach T just stuck with every single one of us and kept a cool head, and he showed us that if you take your time to think and respond instead of react, there's nothing you can't do.
It's been a long time that Grand Island and Kearney have competed against each other in high school football. It's been a long time that they've brought out the best in each other, then propelled each other to postseason play. It's been a long time since the schedule makers set this game in Grand Island. Well, guess what? That time is now. This is Brian Gallagher along with Joe Wells as the KRGI Sports Network presents high school football. We're at Jack Martin Field inside Memorial Stadium, where the Islanders will take on the Bearcats of Kearney in Week 6 play. Joe, the Islanders have shown tremendous growth. Let's face it, Kearney Week is always special. Albers over the middle. It's got a man! That's Holly! Touchdown, Islanders! Toss play, right side, trying to get Molina to the edge, and he's ripped off his feet. Great job in the open field. That time, Trey Engberg says, "You ain't getting around my corner, son."
I ran the kid down and tackled him at the 4-yard line, and I think that kind of just, I don't know if I would have done that if Coach T wouldn't have preached pursuit. It didn't look like, I really didn't think I was going to catch him, but I just, ran as hard as I could and, did what I could do, and that resulted in saving the touchdown.
Pocket. He's got some running room. He's got some speed. He's got it into Kearney territory. Blasts his way to the 44-yard line. Play clock about half a second ahead of the game clock. So the Islanders unfortunately came close, but Kearney, with a third quarter rally, comes into Grand Island's Memorial Stadium and takes the win by a final score of 10-7 in a wonderful football game.
We put up a good fight, but we lost. And I felt like as soon as that last whistle blew, and we got off the field, we all knew that, this is what we need to do now. We need to put our heads down. We need to keep working. We're not going to look up until we see them again in the playoffs. I felt like I personally had a great game. We all had a great game, really. It was just some circumstances that we had a couple players out that kind of led to a loss. But the main highlight there is after. We all knew we had to get to work. We all know what we had to do, which was work our ass off.
I kind of took it hard, and it made me want to be better the rest of the year and get him back in the playoffs. I knew that if I just stuck to the process and tried to make the most out of every rep I got in the weight room and in practice, that it would lead to good things, and I'm glad I trusted the process.
His style really helps you stay committed and just trust the process. Teaches us a lot of values that are just helpful. Whether we win or lose, we're always there for each other.
What described us as a team would be committed, all of us committed, commitment.
There's a lot of bad things that go out in the world, and you know, you can be a dude that changes that. You can be a leader in your community and the places that you are, and you know, change it for the better and just be the dude that people can come over and talk to and lean on your shoulder.
We played Omaha North a bunch and played them twice last year, so we knew coming in they were going to have an excellent team. They returned a lot of starters. They have an excellent coaching staff and an excellent tradition, so we knew it was going to be a physical game. I thought other than the first about 6 minutes of the game where we kind of stepped on our own foot a little bit, shot ourselves in the foot, we played it about as even as you could get for 3.5 quarters. And I felt like we got better as a team even in the loss. I was very proud of our kids.
I had a really bad start to that Omaha North game, and I got in the headset, and Coach Harv just said, hey, I've had worse games throughout my high school and college career. Like, you got a lot of football left that you can change the outcome of this one.
Knowing that it was a big moment and that the play call was most likely going to come to me was pretty stressful, and getting that touchdown was pretty cool with Bodie and helping us get back in that game with Omaha North.
Feel the energy when I walk in the building. Turn up to the max, confidence is on a million. Headed to the top, cause I'm able and I'm willing. Treat calm like my capital, I'm about to make a killing. Stars are aligned, I can see the signs. I know it's my time, on my grind, putting overtime. Spots solidified, I'ma be here for a while. Haters wait to turn in line. Difference is y'all play to win, I want the world in my palm. I'm breaking now, I'm in my zone. Name in the clouds, I'm set in stone. Give me the crown, I deserve the throne. The greatest, it's history in the making. Through all the pain, blood, sweat, and tears. Survive the flame, conquer my fears. My time to reign, I am the heir. The greatest, it's history in the making. Been the best, y'all just witness it. While others out here wishing it, I knew my time was pivoting. Sacrifice and discipline, I'm giving it. That's my name in stone, so when I'm gone, the moment that I made is infinite. Competition make excuses, we making statements. All the work we put in, we deserve 1,000 praises. My sacrifices will be talked about for ages. Now it's time that I show the world what a king is.
Definitely my favorite night of the year is senior night, and paying tribute and honoring those seniors that have given your program so much since they've been freshmen. And then when I look at this year's crew, you know, a lot of them I remember as first, second, third graders in our camps, and then as middle schoolers in our camps. And so having that longevity has enabled me to, you know, make contact and create relationships with a lot of kids over a long span. And so it's very gratifying to see our seniors who have overcome so much adversity this year be able to end their home careers with a great effort.
There's one in a million. I look at the mirror and ask myself, man, are you the hero or villain? But who am I kidding? This time I shake up the building. This time I'm picking up arms. They harming the women and children. Look at the way that we work to get very assertive. Look at the faces, very alert. And look at the way they bury your persons. All for the name of sharing a purpose. So I aspire to use them wearing a cape, they're wearing a curse.
I'd say the thing that stood out about the Omaha Northwest game, I've had a wrist injury, and that was the first time I was able to actually get in the return game and make a few plays. And so just being able to help the team on carrying the ball instead of just the defensive side of the ball, I felt like that was a big thing for me.
I went out there and I seen Gavin pull the ball and the ball come in, and I didn't catch it like I was supposed to catch it. Kind of just Granny caught it right in the breadbasket. And I don't have the best hands in the world. I still got my old lineman hands. When I was running, I seen Kyle Dygert. He put out a block on the outside, and I cut inside to make the corner come in, and he came in and I went right out. I started running, and I looked back and I seen safeties, corners, middle backers chasing me, and I was like, oh, I can get there. I think that's the fastest I've ever ran in my life. I crossed the pylon, threw my hands up like in a touchdown signal. I was so ecstatic, and then I turned and all the guys are celebrating. The entire sideline's lit up. Everyone was excited. I mean, we watched it in film the next day. Coach Harvey goes, Hunter, I think this is the highest you've ever jumped in your life. He said it's crazy to see all the guys on the sideline celebrating one guy's touchdown. And Coach Harvey goes, you know, that's a dude who works his ass off every day in practice. And when something good like that happens to him, it's awesome to see the whole team celebrate. I really got to shine through that game. And, you know, I scored my first ever varsity high school touchdown during that game.
I told him, hey, we got to get rid of this, you know, kind of hangover that's a part of us right now. We got to get over it because I think we're going to see him again. I think there's a good chance we're going to see him again. I had no way to substantiate that, but I just had a gut feeling that we may see him again in the playoffs. And so having a chance to match up with them first round, even though it was at their place, I felt really good about our chances.
Had a chip on our shoulder from the loss earlier in the season, or like a bad taste in our mouths. We felt like we let it slip away a little bit, and we came into the game knowing that we were going to go right at him and punch him in the face.
And we went into that game 100% zoned in, and we took care of business and beat those guys, which is always good.
I was hurting pretty bad, and I just kept trucking along, trying to do my best for the team because I knew we had to win this one after losing to them in the regular season. So I just had to keep putting on my best effort. I think it really brought us all together after getting out of that slump of a couple losses.
Tonight it's a rematch in Kearney. How will the chips fall tonight? Let's find out. This is Brian Gallagher along with Jeremiah Slough as the KRGI Sports Network presents high school football. We're at Ron and Carroll Cope Stadium, Foster Field, where the Islanders take on the Bearcats of Kearney in round one of the NSAA Class A state playoffs. Maya, you know a matchup between Grand Island and Kearney always seems to bring out the best in both teams, so we might as well strap it up right now.
We knew the start of the game was going to be crucial, and it played out that way. We came out, we had a successful drive, did some good things. Kind of a tale of two quarters, if I remember right. The first quarter was maybe everything we were doing. The second quarter kind of, you know, came back a little bit to what they were doing. We couldn't get some things going offensively. You know, probably had some adversity in that game. I won't say probably. We definitely had some adversity that we had to overcome.
Warrior mindset. Together we fight. Together we fight. There's nothing like brothers fighting for each other.
They are eagerly anticipating this chance to see if they can move up in the playoff round with an 8-1 record. The Islanders obviously want to try to play spoiler after losing the close one at home back in late September, 10-7. But they know that they can play with these Bearcats.
I think anytime you get these two teams on the field, they know each other so well, both incredibly well coached. You're not going to see a whole lot of scoring. And so it's going to be a field position game. It's going to be a turnover game. Who's going to win the turnover margin? We did a great job of taking care of the football the first time we played.
We faced a lot of adversity in that game. You know, we got a lot of questionable calls, you know, that favored Kearney. And, you know, we just had our factor and we responded to it. I mean, we didn't give up, and, you know, the outcome, you know, represented that.
Albers leans over the top, pushes it across, got enough, still going, that pile still moving. On 4th and 1, they just got 12 yards.
Especially after, you know, how the first game went down, our kids, you know, the vibe that you got was like they wanted to play Kearney in the first round of playoffs again. And it was super fun to watch because not being a native from Grand Island when I first moved here, I mean, I obviously knew about it, but I didn't know the implications of it and how deep that it went with a lot of our kids and a lot of our coaches and community members, parents. So it was really cool to go to Kearney in the playoffs again and beat them round 1. Like the longer I'm here, the more I get ingrained in that kind of mindset of it a little bit, and it made me very excited. Excited for our kids to get another playoff win. And then just, again, being a part of the coaching staff, being a part of the team, the way that they have adopted me into that program, I feel that just as much as everybody else, I think, now.
You know, we're never out of a game. Tried not to be that way, you know. But it just comes down to, you know, everything we believe what we're doing as a culture with our team of the core values and the commitment kids have to each other and the loyalty that they have to the program. It really makes it special, and honestly, that's the reason why we can compete in most games, and that's the reason why we win some of the close ones that maybe people think we can't win.
Our culture is the tip of the spear. Our culture is the brick and mortar, we like to say, of this whole entire structure, this whole program that we have. And so that Kearney Games kind of summarizes the whole entire season into one. It summarizes what we have built. It summarizes what our culture is. We will outlast teams to the 4th plus overtime, whatever it may be, because of our culture. We don't have the size, we don't have the speed, we don't have the the ABCs, we don't have the Jimmies all the time, but I'll take the Joes every freaking time, and we will freaking grind it out, and we will build the culture and bring it.
the Islanders will celebrate. And they put together the second half comeback for the ages. And they rally to beat Kearney here tonight by a final score of 29-19.
When we beat Kearney in the playoffs, man, that was just the best feeling ever. We felt like we were on the top of the world. I mean, we all had a high of confidence there. Coach Tomlin, the staff, the trainers, the players, we all just felt like, you know, we're here, you know, we're gonna make some noise. We're gonna do what we came here to do. We're gonna play football.
I mean, that one was one we wanted from the second we lost the first time. And man, that was just a really great team effort from everyone.
Just the rivalry piece and us having a lot of success at that field in recent years gave us a lot of confidence. Good win over obviously a very good program.
During the game, I think is where we started to separate ourselves, and you know, I think that's when the kids actually truly realize and trust the system, the process that we install in them early.
I'd say, you know, just trust the process. You know, that's what Coach T preaches, and you know, it's the truth. You know, after the first Kearney game, you know, that wasn't the outcome we wanted, but we just continued to trust the process and did our best.
It's just day in and day out, trust the process, put in extra work. If you start looking too far ahead in the future, you're gonna lose what's in the moment, and you just gotta stay in the moment and make the most out of every little situation you're in.
Everyone remembers the process. No one's gonna care about 30 years from now the playing time someone got. Everyone's gonna remember the process and the tough times you went through with your teammates.
Coach T just really, you suffer together and you build that bond. And I mean, me and all those guys, we suffered together, so.
No, we have a big brotherhood at Grand Island Senior High, and all of us care about each other, and all the coaches care about us and want us to succeed in life.
I knew that the hard work would pay in the end. Obviously, it's a lot of work, especially coming from freshman to sophomore year. It's kind of like a wake-up call that you actually have to put in this hard work and effort.
Playing football has allowed me to be a more caring, compassionate person, like putting others' needs before myself and being able to persevere through challenges through life, because football was just one of the hardest things that I've done, and all the conditioning has helped me persevere through other challenges and not quit.
Definitely bittersweet. You know, you hate to see a season come to an end. I thought our boys played their guts out. I thought the score wasn't indicative of how close the game was. I thought, you know, our kids competed with honor, courage, commitment, and loyalty right into the last whistle, right into the last second, ticking off the clock. Extremely proud of these guys. This team's, you know, exceeded expectations in a lot of ways and overcome more adversity than almost any team I've ever had been a part of.
Grand Island took advantage of a schedule reset last week and emerged with a first-round playoff win. We're at Buell Stadium, where the Islanders will take on the Wildcats of Millard West in round 2 of the NSAA Class A state playoffs. Maya Grand Island shook off some body blows to bounce the Bearcats on their home field last week. Today, Grand Island faces an old playoff foe with a chance to advance to the Final Four again.
Anytime we got 11 dudes on the field, we've got to be unified, we got to be fighting together, we got to be the best 11 at that moment.
What you guys do in the offseason, what you guys do in the season, it's all become for Warrior process, right? And the Warriors will show up and they'll do their job, and if the scoreboard is not right, it doesn't matter, they're gonna do their job and we'll just keep at it.
Climbing up the hill, I think I'm hitting the wall. Sharks in the water praying for me to fall. My legs giving out, but I continue to crawl. Too many sacrifices to let go of it all. If you don't got that dog, then don't get too involved. I'm chopping down Goliath till he's 2 feet tall. I can face 100 problems and they all get solved. Being level after level, every day I evolve. Slaying all these demons like I'm Tangido. Fighting through the jungle, that'll turn you to an animal. Victory is mine, bro, it's tangible. I'm a fire breather, all my eyes fucking flammable. When my spirit gets lost, I think till it's found. I know that they hear me coming the way I'm stomping the ground. I'm finishing my quest, I'm claiming the crown. No matter how much it hurts, I can't back down. I know that it's all gonna change. I can't stop until that day comes. Pushing through the dirt and the rain. There's no fight I'm gonna wait for.
Sees a break up the middle of the field. Here comes the burst. There he goes. 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Islanders. Millard West will move on to the semifinals of the Class A state playoffs. The Islanders will see their season come to an end. The Wildcats beat the Islanders here tonight by a final score of 31-7.
Life brings lessons and challenges. How we overcome those often depends on who was there to show us early in life. The ones we looked up to, our educators, our coaches, their words seem to stick with us for life. Their actions often influence what kind of person we want to be. Tomlin has acted as the hammer that shaped men, husbands, fathers.
His whole coaching style about making sure everyone knows that they are important, even no matter what the role is. No job too big, no role too small. He was just there every day. He gets there at like 4 a.m. in the morning. He's always there early, and it just inspired me to know, hey, I gotta just keep on going, get the grind going, start going, keep going, and don't stop till it's all over.
He installed so many good values and just things about morality that helped me kind of fall in love with the sport again, look at it more like this is something that's gonna be preparing me for the rest of my life, other than just a chore, like show up, do this, do that. This is like, I get to be here. Other kids don't get to do this. They don't get to work this hard.
There's not another coach I'd want to play for. He's got so much wisdom in everything he says, and he's so aware of what he's doing, and he knows what it takes to be great, be elite, and that's what I care about. Just the tougher times is what really grew my bond with him, and the tougher times is what really helped me grow.
He liked being around all of us. He liked to communicate with us, get closer to us on and off the field. Having him in weights, he's just overall a really good guy to be around.
He was like another father figure to me because the amount of time I spent with him, and he believed in me and knew that I could do great things, and also gave me tough love. He didn't just butter me up the whole time. He was hard on me and pushed me to be the best I could be throughout my whole high school career. And I've built a great bond with him throughout the years.
Well, just showing up, he was there every day, for us every day, and it shows how committed he is to us and how much he wants us to succeed, and it just shows that he cares for us.
Just how much he cared about us. He showed it every day. He was the first one here every day and last one to leave it. Looking up to that, just a great role model to see, and to see day in and day out someone of that type of caliber, how committed he was to us. He always took us under his wing. He was always understanding, and he was always there to teach, not to get mad about nothing, but he was always there to teach and get us better at what we were stuck on.
He did a really good job making sure everybody knew that he cared personally about you. It wasn't just if you played good on the field that he was gonna really check up on you, care about you. It was no matter what, he always was there for you.
Yeah, just knowing that he cares about us so much and is willing to put in the same amount of time as us kind of kept me going, because he actually puts in a lot more time, and it's just knowing that they care so much about you, don't want to let them down or anything.
Coach T's a guy that you can always lean your shoulder on. He's a dude that's always there for you, and he's got a great wisdom, and he knows always what to say in the right time and right moments.
Coach T was always there for me. Like if I knew something was going bad, I could talk to him about it and he would always be there. I never wanted to let him down. Like one of my bigger motivators was like, am I gonna let Coach T down? And I never wanted to do that. So it's one of my main focuses. He was always like, he's like that male adult figure in my life that I could count on, because those experiences, like not having one, I could always count on Coach T being there. So like the player-coach experience, he was always there with his players. Like if they needed anything, we would know that he was always there for us no matter the situation.
He always believed in every single person. There was nobody that was ever ahead of somebody else. Coach T's whole point of his leadership and how he is as a man and as a father, as a coach and stuff like that. So it would be good to learn that off of him.
When he took me to the side and saying, hey, I see that a lot of this stuff in your life has gone wrong, but he also showed me that I can use that to pour into the team.
Coach Tomlin constantly talks about with our kids, our players, is what's your legacy? What's your legacy going to be? How are you preparing your legacy? What are you doing now to set your legacy apart from somebody else? His legacy is not what you see on the walls. It's not his legacy what he has said. His legacy are the kids that have gone through the system and are successful, and our fathers, our community members, our servant leaders. That's his legacy. You know, you don't know what successful is until 20 years later, and I think that's what we are. You know, he's been here for 20 plus years, and I think now we're just realizing, you know, we knew that we had the man. We knew that we had the guy, and that's one thing that, you know, a lot of times you say, you don't know how good you have it until it's gone. Well, let's just say for the last 20 plus years, we knew what we had and we knew we had it good. And his legacy is going to live on forever, not only through these walls of Grand Island Senior High, but through the hearts and the minds of the past players that he has coached.
We really don't know if we're successful. We can say, okay, we finished 6-5, it was a pretty successful year, or we went 9-3, or we made the semis, or we made the finals, but I don't know if we're really successful maybe until 10, 15 years down the road, until we see what kind of young men these players turn out being like. And I think I can say without any reservation that we've had a pretty good track record in developing young men. There's nothing more gratifying than seeing the great individuals that our players end up being and how they contribute to society, what great husbands, what great dads they are, and that's the most gratifying piece. Sam Foltz comes to mind as an individual, just the late great Sam Foltz, and having had a close relationship with Sam made it very difficult to say goodbye, but he kind of personifies everything an Islander's supposed to be. I know people around the state are more, you know, identifying with Sam as a Husker, and he's everything a Husker's supposed to be, but he's everything an Islander's supposed to be. So, you know, just the memories of Sam come to mind right off the bat.
Yeah, you just realize what a special guy he was, and you're fortunate to have him around. The way he works with kids is just unbelievable. His saying's always second to none. He's second to none with the way he works with kids, and not just our football kids. And that's what people, you know, maybe don't understand about Coach T. But he's been in the weight room many years. My daughters, her friends. There's been a lot of kids that benefit just from being around Coach T that he doesn't coach as a football player. It was one of those things 21 years ago. It's not hard to see a quality coach, and Coach T was the guy that definitely deserved the job, needed the job, and you know, I'll always remember him just telling us we're never going to get outworked as a staff, and that's just who Coach T is as a person. So you really feel a sense of, okay, I'm not going to let you down. You know, I think every coach on staff is like, yes. So, yeah, great man, great friend. Unbelievable what he's done at senior high. Unbelievable what he's started that will continue after he's gone. That's just the way he is. But yeah, very special person in my place, in my heart.
one of the best that I've ever seen. And I haven't been coaching that long, but I would say he's definitely the best I've seen in terms of just having conversations with his players, holding them accountable, speaking to them and treating them like people, not necessarily just football players or athletes, but how does he care about them as individuals? How does he care about them growing as young men as they're going to go on into college here, into the workforce, be parents, be husbands, whatever it is? He cares about and values all of those things more than he does the football. Football's just the pathway to get there, you know? And I think every coach would tell you that. And every coach has been around him for such a much longer time than I have, you know, but just immediately that's the vibe that I felt when I got here was this guy's a difference maker. This guy knows how to connect with kids. This guy knows how to care about other people in order to get the best out of them moving forward. And I think some of the stuff that he's taught the kids, he's taught me as well. And I've picked up on a lot of that, and I try and, you know, model my life a little bit after that and use his life experience and his coaching ability to kind of grow my own.
And that's one thing I can't thank Coach Tomlin enough for the impact that he has made on me as a coach, as a father, son, and I just want to say thanks.
I knew it was coming. When I started this business, it was X's and O's. Still is, big part of it, X and O's. 20 years later, you see Pete Lewis, you see Brandon Krecklow, but then you think back of the impact you guys made, not on just your teammates. You know, I'll ask you right now, when you're in middle school, you think you're ever gonna play football at senior high? Huh? No. How did you get through 4 years of senior high and say, you know, and you played and it was awesome for you. And there's stories like you that it's like, Kyle Baggert, do you guys remember Kyle? He didn't play many downs at all. But what he got from our program, what he got from other kids around him, and I sit here and think 21 years ago, really, 28 years when I started coaching, I just wanted to coach football. I didn't know all the benefits I was gonna get as a coach. Are you kidding me? I get paid to do this stuff? And it's not really, I don't do it for a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was at some good programs, but never anything what I'm associated with now. I played 4 years in college and thought I had some good friends, but I'm like, our coaches never did anything like this. I played high school football at a great program, won a state championship, have some good friends, but I look at it and I'm like, our guys got more than we got. Our guys are getting way more than I ever got. And it was a different time. And I thought our coach was still, he's probably the second best coach that I know, next Coach T. The state championships, we were fortunate to get to one. And wish we could have finished that one different, but it's not the state championships, it's not the playoffs. I mean, it makes it nice, the community. But if our kids walk out of here and the only thing they're remembering is, hey, that game against Millard South in 2022, when we beat them in our place, and that's all great, but they got to remember that journey that they took for 4 years. And the fortunate part is most of our kids finish it out for 4 years.
To Islander football families, to Islander players, to Islander Nation, to the community of Grand Island, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for believing in our vision and buying into our core value system and our mission to create champions for life. I've gained far more than in my life and improved far more as a person than maybe I've improved anybody, but it's been a great ride, and I certainly have great and fond memories and do appreciate everything that the community of Grand Island's done for me and my family.